Brock from Johnson. Johnson's still in third place behind Murray Carter. Money isn't everything in this game. Concentration and sheer willpower mean a great deal. Johnson now tackling Murray Carter. Murray Carter won't want to get out of his way. Murray wants to get points just as much as Johnson. It's not as if he was being lapped or anything. And of course the final results will be decided on the aggregate of race times from the two heats. So it's up to each driver to do the best he can all the time.
Here, in other words, the fastest of the heats will have the points awarded to it for the Touring Car Championship. So even though it looks like the pressure is off Brock, in fact he has to put in a very good race time to get those necessary points that he will gain if he finishes in the #1 spot.
Johnson laps Darrell Gretrick's RS2000 and Alan Brown coming up to do the same. Jim Fanico now in the way as Murray Carter ranges up at the end of the back straight, followed by Dick Johnson in third place. At the end of pits, there's Bob Muir's Army Disposal Falcon now, ahead of the Bob Morris Falcon. Two Fords out already. But there are two Fords in second and third places and one very close behind in fifth. But this is our leader, the Commodore, the Holden Commodore of the Marlborough Holden dealer team, Peter Brock, the champion. And there's Murray Carter in second place, with Dick Johnson a long way behind. Obviously had trouble getting through the back markers.
Alan Brown not letting him go at all.
I wonder whether there may be some slight problem with Johnson's car that might have been responsible for the spin rather than just over-exuberance. Knowing his record so far, I think that's more likely than a sheer dropping the ball, so to speak. Certainly he should be staying with Murray Carter, but he's not doing it at the moment. You can see there, Johnson dropped well back.
Bob Muir going back into the event.
It's a tragedy for the Queenslander. He's put so much effort into this race, and there goes Alan Brown on the inside of him. Brock goes on his merry way without too much to worry about for the next few laps at least.
Good shot there of the extraction vanes on the wheels. Those shiny discs inside of the wheel, actually extracting air through the middle of the wheel to try to cool down the brake pads and disc. Particularly useful for long distance events.
Brock signaling there to his pits about something, we don't know what.
It was just thumbs up and everything's go. So Peter Brock looking very good at this stage in Heat 2 of the Touring Car Championship. Murray Carter in second place. Alan Brown in third place now, and Johnson slips back to fourth place.
And in fact Johnson is a good 5 seconds behind Murray Carter, so he's obviously in trouble. There's no two ways about that. Things are not working out for Johnson today.
Brock just went out of shot to the left-hand side. Here comes Murray Carter in second place, and you can see right back down at Repco corner Dick Johnson in the blue Falcon. That's the gap between first and fourth. That would almost be half a lap.
Might try and have a look at the back tyres on this car. You never know, there might be some problem in that area. Rear suspension, rear tyres, maybe brakes even, locking back.
Well, he's not getting around nearly as crisply as he has been this weekend.
The car is initially understeering. He's having to then try and get the power down and make it oversteer, and it's a very tricky balancing job he's got on his hands there. It's not handling the way he wants it to, that's for sure.
Just listening to it that time past our commentary box, it sounds okay, so indications are that there is something wrong in the braking or suspension area. The gap between first and second at the moment is 11.7 seconds. A long way in racing terms.
Laps completed of the 25-lap journey.
9 to go.
Couldn't work that out so quickly. It's incredible, isn't it? Peter Brock, Murray Carter, and in fact Alan Brown in third place. Not Dick Johnson, as you saw there. Dick is now in fourth place.
Murray Carter, 50 years of age, proprietor of Murray Carter Motors in Melbourne. has had all sorts of vehicles over the years, and actually finished second in the Touring Car Championship in 1976, so Murray's been up there too on occasions.
Peter Brock, proprietor of Barbara Holden dealer team.
And what a successful combination that's been over the years.
Must be some relief to Peter to be back in the hunt again after Simmons Plains, which must have been a very frustrating race for him. Certainly the first time he's been beaten so well in many a race, that's for sure. A bit of a shock to the system, I'd say. Murray Carter coming up to lap Rusty French. And there we have the current positions. Peter Brock, Murray Carter, Alan Brown. It's Holden, Ford, Holden.
And Brock's opening up the gap to 12.7 seconds now.
Phil Lyons in the privately entered Commodore. Alan Brown in his privately entered Commodore too. Started racing karts and gave it away for a long time. In fact, he used to manufacture go-karts, and then Alan got involved in motor racing through his friendship with Peter Jansen. I hate to think how many people got involved in motor racing through friendships with Peter Jansen. They all end up with old cars with Peters.
Funny thing about that. Back in the under litre, get it right, the under 3 litre class is being led at this stage by car 31 Colin Bond. Behind him, Steve Masterton and Peter Williamson in the Celica in third place.
Peter Jansen now has Dick Johnson in his sights. The end of the back straight.
End of where?
Sorry, the end of the front straight. Bob Muir in the Army Falcon making a threesome. Up the back straight, Jansen pulling alongside Dick Johnson, but Dick Johnson letting him go. Well, obviously there is a problem with that car. I mean, no doubt whatsoever.